Hey, everybody, and welcome to a deep dive on something that's honestly make or break for any brand,
Oh, yeah,
logo design.
absolutely.
We've got a ton of research, listener submitted stuff, really interesting articles all about logo design landmines.
Right.
And I gotta say, some of these mistakes, so common,
Yeah, yeah.
but also
Totally preventable.
totally preventable. Yeah, like, why are people doing this?
Right. It's like they're shooting themselves in the foot before they even get out the gate.
It's true. And I think one of the big things that keeps coming up is this idea of like budget, 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 especially for new businesses. Understandable.
Sure.
But
Got to think long term, though.
yeah, is it really a good idea to just go cheap on the logo and figure, well, we'll rebrand later?
That's the thing. Rebrand later almost never happens the way people think it will.
Okay, so unpack that a little bit.
Sure.
Why is cheap now, rebrand later kind of a risky move? Because I can see someone starting out thinking, hey, that's clever, save some money, we'll get the good stuff later.
You get that early recognition, right?
Right.
With that initial logo. So you're a year, 2 years down the line, you're like, okay, we're going to go for the super professional look now.
Yeah.
But everyone's still associating you with that, first impression. Which maybe wasn't the strongest. It's like, I don't know, trying to redo the foundation of a house
Ooh.
after you built the walls.
I was going to say after you built the roof even.
Right, like it's a lot harder to go back.
Yeah, you're anchored to that.
Exactly.
So the logo really is kind of like the foundation of the brand house, is what you're saying.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
And you don't want a shaky foundation.
No one wants a shaky foundation. That's how the whole thing crumbles.
Exactly, exactly.
So yeah, investing in a well-designed logo from the get-go.
Yeah.
It's like you're building on solid ground.
Solid ground.
You might spend a little bit more up front, but you're avoiding that cost and headache, let me tell you, of a rebrand later.
Oh, I bet.
Which is way more expensive
yeah,
than
right.
getting it right initially.
Yeah, and not to mention, wouldn't that also risk confusing your existing customers? It's like I don't know, suddenly changing the name of your hit song when everyone knows it by the original title.
Exactly. You're messing with people's, what they're used to.
Exactly. They're like, "Wait, I like that other thing. This is weird now."
It's too much. Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah.
So, it sounds like really instead of treating the logo as this like afterthought or like, oh yeah, we got to check that box off the to-do list.
Right.
It needs to be like up there with
Oh, sure.
your business plan, your marketing strategy.
Absolutely. Foundational pieces.
It's a foundational element. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say someone is listening to this and they're like, okay, I get it. I need to invest in this. I need to do it right. How do you even begin to find the right designer for the job? Because I feel like
Oh, it's intimidating.
it can feel intimidating, right?
Yeah, especially because there's like a million options out there now, you know?
A million options. How do you even know where to start?
It's really easy to get overwhelmed.
Right.
And one of I would say the biggest mistakes people make is they just dive headfirst into a designer's portfolio without figuring out what they need.
Yeah, it's like going grocery shopping on an empty stomach.
Yes.
You end up with a cart full of like impulse buys.
Exactly. You're just like, ooh, that looks good. Ooh, those colors.
Yeah, and then you get home and you're like, I have none of the ingredients to make an actual meal.
Exactly. Right. It's not a cohesive vision.
Not cohesive at all.
So yeah, I think even before you start browsing designer portfolios,
Okay.
take some time to really think about your brand. What emotions are you trying to evoke? Are you going for like the really modern minimalist vibe? Or is it something more classic?
Yeah, does your target audience play into that too? Because like industry, everything.
A logo for like a tech startup is going to have a totally different vibe than a logo for a bakery.
100%, yeah. Right. And so the more specific you can be about, I guess, your brand's personality target market,
Totally.
the better you'll be able to actually
You'll be able to weed out the people who aren't a good fit.
find those people.
And you can kind of go in with a more focused eye.
Yeah, I like that. It's like choosing a wedding photographer.
Oh, yeah. Perfect analogy.
You wouldn't hire someone who specializes in dark and moody landscapes.
Right.
If you're dreaming of like light and airy portraits.
You want someone who gets your style, who
Exactly.
can match your vision.
And it's so funny because like scrolling through a designer's portfolio is like looking at their wedding album in a way. It's like, okay, I get a feel for your style, your strengths.
This is what they're really good at.
Yeah, are they going to be able to capture like the essence of what I'm going for?
And don't just look at the first couple flashy things, like really dig deep.
Okay.
Look at the range. Can they adapt? Can they do different industries, different brand identities?
So it's not even just about finding a designer whose style you like.
Right.
It's finding someone who you think gets your brand
Ticks it.
and understands your audience, right?
It's about the right fit.
It's about the fit. It's about all of those pieces coming together.
100%.
Okay.
It's like finding your design soulmate
Design soulmate.
who speaks the same,
Yeah.
visual
Plastic
language
language.
as your brand.
Yeah, because if you're speaking two different
It's
languages,
not going to work out.
it's just not going to work out. It's going to be a mess.
You're going to get a weird Frankenstein logo.
And no one wants that.
No one wants that.
Okay, so we've found our design soulmate, but that's just step one, right?
Right.
Because our research also really stressed the importance of communication.
Yes.
Clear communication throughout this entire process.
That's where the magic happens, honestly.
Because I'm guessing that's where a lot of these, like, logo fail stories come from.
Oh, 100%.
It's like there's this disconnect between the vision and the execution.
It's a communication breakdown.
It is.
Totally.
It's true. It's like you found the person, but how do you make sure they're actually going to create the thing that you want, right? Like,
I always say, you can be the most talented designer in the world,
Mhm.
but if you're not getting the right information,
It's useless.
it's useless. Yeah, it's like, what are we even doing here?
Exactly.
And one of the articles you shared had this really, I thought, kind of brilliant quote from, I think it was a design agency owner.
Okay.
And they said, a logo brief shouldn't read like a grocery list.
Mm.
It should feel like the opening paragraph of your brand's biography.
Ooh, I like that.
Right.
Okay.
So it's not just like, I want this font and this color.
Right. It's got to have some soul.
You need some context.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So how do we do that? How do we make it less grocery list and more like captivating bio?
Yeah. So it's about context. It's about clarity.
Oh.
And I think one of the things that article also talked about was this kind of three-pronged approach. And I actually really liked this.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Emotions,
Okay.
colors,
Okay.
vision. Right.
So it's tying it all together.
It's tying all together. So before you even go to a designer, ask yourself, when you think of the brand, what are 3 words that describe the feeling
Okay.
that you want this logo to evoke?
Okay. So I'm a candle company. I want people to feel
Right.
relaxed, serene,
There you go.
and I don't know, luxurious. Let's go with that.
Boom. You've got your 3 words, and then from there you can extrapolate, okay, what colors?
Yeah. What colors actually match those words?
Right, because if you're going for relaxed, serene, luxurious,
It's not going to be neon green.
probably not. No.
No, right? It's got to be a little more muted, a little more.
Exactly. So you're thinking like, you know,
Yeah.
muted tones, maybe some earth tones.
Oh, right.
So you're already starting to build out this visual language.
Oh, I love. Okay, what about the vision part of that?
So vision, this is where you're connecting it to, the brand's personality.
Okay.
Where do you see your brand in 5 years? 10 years? Like, what's the legacy?
Oh, interesting.
Because the logo isn't just a pretty icon.
Right. It's the whole story.
It's the whole story.
Okay.
It's everything you're trying to build. So having that vision in mind
Mhm.
can really help, again, guide those design choices.
It's like having a roadmap, like you were saying before.
A roadmap, exactly.
It's like, where are we even going?
100%.
Okay, so I've got my emotionally charged,
Yes.
my color coordinated, my vision aligned brief.
Boom.
I'm ready to go.
You're killing it.
What happens next? How do I make sure I'm giving good feedback?
Oh, the feedback.
Yeah.
This is key.
Yeah, because you don't want to be like, I don't like it, and that's it, right?
I like it helps nobody.
Right, it doesn't help anyone, so.
So be specific. Explain the why. Like one of the sources it was talking about, instead of saying the font feels off,
Yeah.
try saying something like, this font feels a little too corporate for my, handmade jewelry brand. I'm going for something more organic, more whimsical.
Give them something to work with.
Exactly.
Yes,
The more specific you are,
right.
the more they have to go off of.
It's like you're giving them a compass.
Yes.
Instead of just being like, go north. It's like, go north, but like slightly east.
Head towards that mountain range.
There's like a weird tree. Turn left at the weird tree.
Exactly. You're giving them landmarks.
Yeah, you're giving them all the things to get them to that final destination.
100%.
And this is a two-way street, right? Like,
Yeah.
the designer should be explaining their choices too.
Oh, absolutely. It should be a conversation.
Okay.
Back and forth. And, they should be able to justify.
Right. Like, this is why I made this choice based on what you said.
Exactly. Like, this is why I think this font represents, the serenity that you were talking about.
Okay, so it's all about that back and forth.
Communication is key.
Communication is always key. Yeah.
Always.
Okay, now let's talk about something that I think often gets overlooked in logo design, which is thinking about the versatility.
Oh, huge.
Right. Because we live in a multi-platform world.
Multi-platform, yeah.
Your logo needs to look just as good, like tiny, on an Instagram icon
Yep.
as it does like on the side of a building.
100%.
It's got to do it all.
And this is something that I think, maybe 10, 15 years ago wasn't as big of a deal.
Right, you could get away with it.
You could get away with it, but now
The internet, it ruins everything.
the internet, it's like, your logo needs to be everywhere.
Everywhere.
So it needs to be adaptable.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we make sure that our logo isn't just a one-hit wonder? It's like,
Right.
it's a whole album.
Well, and I think thinking about, okay, you've got your website, your social media, business cards, right? What if you want to make merch someday?
Oh, yeah. What about those little favicons?
Ooh, the favicons, tiny.
The little things.
So thinking about all those different applications
From the get-go?
from the get-go.
Okay.
Because you don't want to get, a few months down the line and be like, oh, this looks terrible, shrunken down.
It's just a blob.
It's just a blob. You can't even tell what it is.
Exactly.
So yeah, having that conversation with your designer early on
Okay.
about, okay, what are the different places this is going to live?
Yeah, like show it to me in different sizes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mock it up.
Yeah.
See how it looks,
Yeah.
because you want it to be impactful no matter what.
It's like finding that perfect outfit that you can dress up or dress down.
Oh, I love that analogy.
Right.
Yeah.
You can wear it to a wedding, but you could also wear it to like Target.
Exactly.
Right.
It works for multiple occasions.
It's versatile.
Versatile. That's the key word.
Yeah, your logo is your outfit.
It is.
It's your brand's outfit.
It is. It is. And don't be afraid to ask your designer for variations. Like, can I get a simplified version for smaller things? Can I get a black and white version if I need to print this,
So it's like covering all your bases,
Cover your bases.
making sure your logo's ready for anything.
Exactly. Because you want it to be, again, impactful, recognizable, no matter where it is.
No matter where it goes.
No matter where it goes. Exactly.
Okay, now speaking of making sure your logo's ready for anything, there's a whole other side to this
Oh, yeah.
that I think people don't always think about, and it's a little bit less fun to talk about.
Yeah. It's not the fun part.
But it's important.
It's crucial.
It's crucial, so we need to discuss it. It's like that moment in a heist movie, right? Where they're like pulling out the blueprints and they're like, all right, but here's where the legal stuff comes in.
Right, right.
Right.
And it's like, oh boy.
Yeah, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, like, we were having fun. I thought this was going to be easy.
Yeah, I thought we were just going to like make something cool, put it out there.
Yeah, and it's like, no, there's lawyers involved. There's always lawyers involved, especially when it comes to your logo.
Especially when it comes to something as important as your logo.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is, that's the face of your company. That's huge.
It's your baby. You're putting it out there in the world.
Exactly. So we got to make sure
Got to protect it.
we got to protect it legally.
Okay, so legally speaking, talk to me about logo ownership. Why is this so important to get right?
Okay, so you put all this time, this energy, this money, right, into making this amazing logo.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Blood, sweat, and tears. It's perfect. It's everything you ever wanted.
It's on your merch. It's on your website.
It's everywhere. And then you're like, okay, we're ready to trademark this thing.
Oh, we're going big
I'm
time.
going big time. And you realize you don't actually own the rights to do that
Oh, no.
because you signed a weird contract or you didn't sign a contract.
They didn't even think about
You
it.
didn't even think about it.
Oh, my gosh.
And now someone else is saying that they own it. Or, you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
So it's like you don't even own your own baby. It's like
It's like a weird, like a custody battle
a logo custody battle.
that you don't want to be in, trust me.
Okay, so how do we avoid that? Like when we're talking to a designer, what are some key things that need to be like in writing, locked down? Contract. Okay.
I know. It sounds boring. No one wants to read the contract.
No, they're so long.
They're long. They're full of legal jargon.
Yeah.
But it's so important.
Better be safe than sorry, I guess.
100%. And when in doubt, have a lawyer look at it.
Okay.
It's worth it to spend a little bit of money
Make sure you're protected.
to make sure you're protected. Exactly.
Okay, so we got our contract. What specifically are we looking for in there?
Okay, so you want to make sure that the contract clearly states that you own the full rights once you have paid, obviously, when the project's done.
It's not a lease to own situation.
It's not a lease to own.
You're buying it outright.
You're buying it. It's yours. And that includes the copyright,
Okay.
which means you have the right to use it, reproduce it, modify it however you want.
So it really is like buying a house.
It is like buying a house.
Like you're getting the deed to this logo. It is yours.
It is yours to do with what you will.
Okay.
So yeah, making sure that that's crystal clear in the contract.
Huge.
Crystal clear.
Yeah.
And again, ask questions. If there's anything in there you don't understand.
Don't be afraid to be like, I don't know what this legal jargon means.
Totally.
Can we talk about it?
Yeah, any good designer is going to be happy to walk you through that process.
Okay, so again, it's like communication. It keeps coming back to that.
It always does.
It really does, because even if it's not about the creative, it's about the legal.
Exactly. It's about being on the same page.
Being on the same page, I like it.
100%.
Okay, so we've covered so much ground in this depth dive.
I know. I'm tired.
I'm tired just thinking about it.
Right.
We talked about avoiding the budget pitfalls. We
Yeah.
talked about researching designers, crafting the perfect brief,
Mhm.
giving good feedback. And now, even the legal stuff.
It's a lot, but, you got to be prepared.
You got to be prepared.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. I love it. Okay, so
I feel powerful.
I feel very powerful right now. I'm ready to go make some good logo decisions.
Yeah.
But if someone's listening to this and they're like, okay, I need like one thing to take away from this,
Okay, one thing,
what would that be?
don't rush the process.
Oh,
Take your time, do your research, choose wisely.
I like it.
Because this is an investment. This is your brand.
This is your baby.
It's your baby.
You got to nurture it. You got to do it right.
100%. So, yeah, choose wisely, my friend.
Choose wisely. And on that note,
Okay.
we'll let everyone get out there and make some good logo decisions. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everybody.